What's up, everybody? It's your boy AT2. I found this conversation between Joy Reid and Don Lemon interesting. One thing is because Joy Reid said the quiet part out loud. What they really want at these protests are black faces because they want to use us as the face of riots, protests, anything negative about the black community because they're very surprised. Like, okay, wait, why are all these white people protesting? Why are they putting their bodies on the line? We want the black ones. Let's go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get to the video, you guys. Here we go. All right, so as you know, Don Lemon was indicted on Friday. Joy Reid, this is their first interaction together since he was arrested and then later released. So here we go.
So I had no idea that there were folks like you who had been on the channel and others. And once I talked to Tim, when I was able to talk to him, he's like, yeah, the channel's been going all day. Your team has been kicking ass. Your friends, your journalist friends have been on all day. He goes, you have no idea. And I'm like, no, I don't. Look at my face. I'm like, oh my God.
You can see it. You can see it. Of course you were. I mean, you never really, we talk all the time about fascism, and we know that part of what fascism is that your government will direct its awesome power against individual citizens. We know that's a possibility, but as some 2 days from you, and then it's 1 degree away from you, and then it's literally somebody who you text with and who's your friend. You know what I mean? It comes closer and closer and closer. It creeps closer and closer and closer until it's literally upon you. And then in your case, it's you. And so, we're really, I think, processing as a country what authoritarianism is. And for people who think, oh, this is just abstract, this is not our issue, this is not about us, particularly Black folks, it's about us. Because you notice that what they finally drew down to is 9 Black people. They went through all of this hell to attack brown people and attack Black immigrants. And eventually they always come back to African Americans. We are still the focus of the hatred and the bile of the far right, whether the far right is called the Confederacy.
And listen, Black people are always under the attack. Like, let's not forget, the Black employment has risen. Also, a lot of federal workers are Black. This is an attack on Black people. Like, don't ever think like, oh, it's just the immigrants. No, it's us too,
Whether the far right is called slave owners, whether the far right is called Jim Crow, whether the far right is in the Republican Party or in the Democratic Party back before when it was the Dixiecrats. It doesn't matter what the brand name is. The far right in the United States always eventually comes right back to Black folks, because we really are, us and indigenous people, we're the evidence of the crimes of their ancestors, and they will never get over the hatred, the core hatred of us.
These are the 4, you mentioned the 9 people. These are the 4 journalists who were arrested. Georgia Fort, me, and then Traherne Jean Cruz and Jamel Lendl Lundy, but they're based in Minnesota. That's according to the reports. And so look at that. I mean, that is not by accident.
No, not at all. And I'm looking here, I've got the indictment. That was the other thing I did, printed out the indictment and started reading through it. And it reads like a horror novel. It doesn't even make sense. And I'm not a lawyer, but it doesn't even make sense to a layperson. But look, that's the picture they wanted. And, there's been plenty of reporting, plenty of inside scoop from people like Lev Parnas that Stephen Miller and et al. Were upset about the fact that the visuals of the occupation of Minneapolis, the visuals of the occupation were very white. The protests, even going back to No King's Day that we covered together with Jim Acosta, very white. The people who turned out to No Kings too, very white. The people in the streets of Minneapolis, you were there, it's very white. The protest movement is led by white people because they're putting their bodies in the way, because they know they have a different relationship with police than we do, than Black people do. But the word from people like Parnas is that's not what the White House wanted. They wanted the face of what they want to call an insurrection, because they want to use the Insurrection Act, but they need the face of that insurrection to be what's on the screen. Black.
Damn, Joy, you're always sharing the truth here. And then they got it with this one. What do you, oh my gosh, I did not know that. So when you texted me or called me, you knew something was up.
I did, because, you know.
And Joy is right about that. This is what they wanted. They wanted us to go out there, act a fool, tear up shit. So then eventually they can use the Insurrection Act and be like, oh, look at these Black people. Because let's be honest, if January 6th was a whole bunch of Black people, we wouldn't have got that far. Let's be honest about that. They want to compare the Black Lives Matter protests, and no, we definitely wouldn't have got that far inside the Capitol. Not even on the steps, we wouldn't have got that far. They would have immediately called the National Guard. But again, you know, with a lot of these protests, they want us, Black people, to sacrifice our bodies. And it's all like, no, we're not doing that. After the election, we were all like, you know what? We taking a break. We stepping back. And it wasn't just Black women, it was Black people in general. We were all like, we all taking a step back because y'all don't give a damn about us, so we don't give a damn about y'all. And you see what's going on now. And I feel that people know that, one, Black people know how to organize. Two, we know about protesting from our ancestors. And three, you need us. You need our voices. And unfortunately, you need our bodies too as well, because we know how to get across a message. And I believe that this is why a lot of this shit has not been shut down, because again, one of the criticism with the No Kings protest is that one of the white ladies wanted a jumper house, or a bounce house, as you would call it. At a protest, you want a bounce house, you want some kind of special daycare for children. Like, this is a protest, lady. This isn't fun. This isn't, a game, So there's things like that where it's all like, okay, you guys aren't taking this seriously. And yeah, you could say millions of people have came out and protested. I'm not denying that. Like, yeah, we see that, right? We see millions of people, but it's something that's fallen by the wayside where the message isn't getting across because the White House is continuing to do whatever they want to do. If we compare it to 2020, when it came to Black Lives Matter, they really woke it up. Whether or not you care about the organization or not, the sentiment of Black Lives Matter, the words, that's what I'm talking about. So again, during that, there were small changes in policies that were created during that time. Now, were they major? No, obviously not, because we're still dealing with it today. But you see that impact with the No Kings protest. I hate to say it, but I have not seen it. If anything, it has gotten worse. Now, you can say that's because Trump is, Trump 2.0 is worse, but the message is not getting across because there's people still being killed. Like, by the way, with ICE, it's not even that the immigrants are getting killed. It's American citizens. Like, that's scary. And here's the thing. Trump wanted to use this whole state fund terrorism to try to threaten and scare us. That's what he wants. But what they didn't expect was it was going to be all white people being attached to this. That's the problem. They were thinking that it was going to be us out there. And I'm not saying that there's no Black people out there, because obviously with the protests that Nakima had put together to the church, she's Black. So, I'm not saying that there's no Black people, but as far as majority of us, we're not out there. You need our faces, so then you can say, oh, see, look at those bad people. See, look at them. Look at those Black people. They don't know how to act. This is why they do this and that. And let's be honest about something. You don't have people inciting violence or doing anything because Black people aren't there, because it doesn't fit their narrative. Because a lot of those protests during 2020 they're very peaceful. But of course, you only seen the looting and the rioting. And that wasn't started by Black people. Now, I'm not saying Black people didn't participate, but that wasn't started by Black people. Obviously, that was to send a message like, oh, well, we're going to go ahead and tear up, Antifa or these anarchists. They were tearing up stuff. And then it made it seem like, oh, all the Black people are doing it. Which, again, that was a wild time. And it's sad that we're always looked at as, oh, we don't know how to handle ourselves. We don't know how to control ourselves. No, it's not us. It's the other people. But of course, y'all don't want to have that conversation. But I appreciate Joy Reid bringing this up because, again, we as Black people, we knew this, right? But everyone else might have not known this, that, yeah, this is the quiet part that no one is saying. They want to use us as the face. They want us to be out there. They want us, the people that are getting hurt and killed, and they want to cause harm to us. So again, not necessarily with immigration, but as far as Black people being a target, we are always a target. It's never letting up at all. Trust me, it's only going to get worse. But please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all listening. And let me know what you think in the chat. Maybe you don't think the administration is going to come after Black people. Maybe y'all think, oh, this is just fear mongering. Well, hell, there's a reason to be fearful. That's why we're talking about it, right? Love y'all. We out of here. Deuces, everybody.